Welcome to Moms Knows Best, your one-stop destination for parenting and motherhood. I'm Shulata, your host for this series. Pandemic moms are heroes. We need to take care of our children, our household responsibilities, and all the other mess that is going on and still be positive. This series is created with the idea to help give you the dose of positivity whenever you need it. The word you use with your children either nurture them or dismantle their self confidence. It is extremely imperative to understand the power of word and impact they can have on a little one. It is important that we as a parent think about the word we use when we discipline them or just otherwise. This will help them to move on and grow in a best possible manner. Today, I have a guest with me, Namrata Dhruve, parenting and lifestyle coach. Hi, Namrata. How are you?
Yes, hello Sulata. Thank you so much. I'm doing great. And first of all, I would like to congratulate you and the team of Mom Knows Best for this wonderful initiative of podcast, which will really give quite positivity to all the mothers who are at home. So really congratulations for that.
Thank you so much. Even I'm glad to be a host for this series. Namrata, over to you. Tell me something about yourself.
Okay, so by profession, I'm a chartered accountant. But by passion, I'm a life coach, I'm a parenting coach. I recently completed my, certification course into NLP. My zeal to reach out to the parents and the youth made me, enter into this stream because I always wanted to spread the awareness amongst the parents. When I actually became parent, I started realizing there are so many things for which, a mother needs to come out of the conditioning which she has gone through. So if you want a mother to come out of that conditioning, then yes, it is very important that we who are aware should spread the awareness. And that is how I started with this tagline, rise while you raise. So it is both ways that when you are, raising your child, you yourself need to rise your awareness to a next level. So that is all about me. I do have a YouTube channel also on which, I'm posting my various videos of a self-growth and parenting. And Instagram, yes, you are aware about it.
Yeah, of course, I'm aware about it. Okay, so recently Mother's Day went last week, and what you have done in this Mother's Day?
Okay, so my Mother's Day was very special. On a personal friend, my son and my husband, they both made a card for me. They made a day very beautiful by, making a lunch and dinner, everything. The card was so beautiful, expressing all their emotions. And yes, on Mother's Day, I launched my course on parenting also. So I was really happy to look forward for that. So it was really a great day to celebrate.
Amazing. Okay, Namrata, should I ask you some questions about, related to our topic, that how Absolutely. The power of words will impact on child's life?
Yes, absolutely.
So tell me what you actually mean when you say that words have power.
Okay, so when I say words have power, I would like to take it through an example. So let's take one activity here. I would like you and even the listeners who would listen it to go through this activity as I say. So can you just close your eyes for a moment, Sulata?
Yeah.
Okay. And when you close your eyes, just think of what I'm telling you. So Sulata, since it is a pandemic this season, it is really not good to have mangoes this season. Especially mangoes which are, completely yellow and ripen. They're smelling so nice, but please don't think about those mangoes, okay? Because this pandemic, you don't know from where those mangoes are coming from. Especially, those Kesar mangoes, I love them, but I'm not going to think about it. And so you are not going to think about mangoes, Sulata. Are you getting that point? Because we are not going to have mangoes this season. Not at all. I'm not going to get mangoes home, okay? Why? Because this is a pandemic season. We cannot have mangoes, especially those mangoes for which we used to make juices. Okay. No mango juices this season at all. Okay, Sulata, don't think of mangoes. And the smell also, you're not supposed to think about the smell. Okay. And juice, we are not going to have it this season. Next season, we will surely make it, Sulata. Okay. Now slowly open your eyes. So what did you think? Tell me.
It was like very stressful when I feel like I will love to have this, but it was like no, because of the negativity.
Right. And your complete concentration was on the mangoes, right? How mango looks like. When I was
Yeah.
telling you about the kesar mangoes, then you were imagining how kesar mango looks like, the smell and the
I
juice
was
when I
remembering yesterday I only had a glass of mango juice.
exactly. So this is what I call as a power of words, and you will be surprised to know that one of the research says that a mother or people around child, they use the word no at least 1,75,000 times till the child turns 18 years of age. Now can you imagine the situation of that mind who is completely and continuously listening the word no, no, no. And now, why it happens that when we say something about no, don't do this, don't do that, children end up doing the same thing. We all have evidenced it. You tell a child not to climb the stairs, he will try to climb the stairs. You tell a child not to spill something, they will spill something. Then what is the basic science behind this is your subconscious mind takes it as it is been told to it. They do not apply. The subconscious mind does not have its own mind. It applies what is been told. It gives complete concentration on a point which is being spoken. I told you not to think about mangoes, but you are thinking about mangoes.
Mhm.
And that is what same happens with our children. When we tell them not to do something, they end up doing the same thing. But we as an adult, we do not understand that what kind of communication, sorry, what kind of words we are going to speak with our child, so that child actually listens to you. And at the end of the day, then we go frantic that why my child is not listening to me. So that is basically I mean by power of words.
Amazing. It's very true. So can we really totally avoid the word no?
Okay, honestly, I can say, even while answering your question, I won't use the word no, but I would say it is challenging, right? So when I say it is challenging, it is a challenge in front of me which I need to, overcome. So yes, it is not at all, it is completely difficult, or it is little challenging to go through this process of avoiding saying no. Why? Because we all are conditioned to think in that way. Since childhood, we all are conditioned even to have the same kind of self-talk with ourselves. Oh, I cannot do this. Oh, I cannot do that. And the same self-talk goes ahead with our children also. And that is how, it is quite challenging to avoid that word no, but it is not impossible. Why it is not impossible? Because the conscious effort which we can make can always make it possible to have those words which I actually want to communicate to my child. As I said to you, that we are not going to have mangoes or don't do this, don't do that. Instead of, can I communicate to my child what actually I want him to do? If I want him not to climb the stairs, I can tell him, wow, can we stand here? So I'm giving child, the suggestion, the option, and that is the process, in which I can avoid saying no word, but it has to be a very conscious effort.
So that is the way we can shift to no to yes parenting.
Yes, absolutely. So, when I actually say that we need to avoid the word use the word no, I mean to say there are three ways in which we can actually do this. One of the way is actually what we are speaking to the child using the word no. Secondly is what we are speaking about the child. And third is the reaction which we are giving to the child. So it is not always the verbal communication in front of the child which hampers a child. So when I say that yes, you have to avoid you have to use you have to have that power in your voice. When I say that, I mean to say that yes, particular thing has to come in your communication, in what you're speaking about the child, even when the child is around or not around. And third is the kind of reaction which you're giving to child. Now, what does this exactly mean? The first example, we have seen that what actually verbal communication means. I give suggestions to the child and I do not, actually command. I do not give a command, don't go on stairs. I give a suggestion, can we stand here? So the child feels, okay, what I'm supposed to do. we always communicate what they're not supposed to do, but let's shift from not supposed to supposed to. So we can speak to the child what we are supposed to do. Secondly is what we speak about child. That is so much important. Many times we say, oh, tum abhi chote ho, tum nahi kar paoge. Oh, he's little shy. Do you know that? Oh, don't give him a toy, he will break it. So these are the words which we speak about child when he is around, and child is continuously listening. So what he carries in his mind, yes, whenever the toy is given to me, I'm going to break it because my mama says that, right? Whenever I am going to, we generally say कि उसको अगर आप लेके जा रहे हो खेलने के लिए, so just have an eye on him because he may hit your children. So we always speak that देखो वो मारेगा आपके बच्चों को. So we always, some way or other way, we are inculcating some kind of self-belief into the child by speaking about the children. And the third thing which I meant by the reaction is we always give reaction and we do not give response. The meaning of that is, suppose a child is spilling milk while he's having a milk. So what do we generally say? Oh my God, how many times I told you, who is going to clean up this mess? Please drink milk properly. That's not the way you would drink milk. This is my reaction to the situation. But can I change that reaction to the response? I can say, oh, I can see you spilling milk. Can we just have it little politely, or can we just sit at one place and have it? Okay, can I give you a straw? What can we do so that we are not spilling it? And even if you are spilling, it's okay, baby, we can clean it up later. So the response which I'm giving, because you understand that this response is going to carry in his mind for ages. And the same response he's going to pass on when he, grows up. So that is what, I really mean by moving from no to yes. And all this has a connection with the child. All this is going to add up how strong you are developing your connection with the child.
Wow, great. That I must say that parents also have to be a very patient and
yes,
keep watching what they're telling, because we don't know we're telling what, but that is really impactful.
Right, absolutely.
Right, I got your point. All right, so in which areas it will have impact, like a behavior or performance?
Yes, as I said I spoke about the 3 ways of, converting your no into yes. So when we are generally having such kind of, second type of communication about the child goes into limiting self-beliefs as he grows up. When we continuously say my child is shy, or he's very loud when, people are around. Or suppose there are guests who are coming up at home and you warn your child in advance. Always, whenever the guest comes, you make some mess out of it. You overreact. Be careful this time, okay? So the kind of limiting belief he's going to carry to the rest of his life, that whenever I'm surrounded by guests or I'm surrounded by people, I do not have control on my emotions. I overreact. And that is what he's going to carry in his mind for lifetime. Same is, I am shy. So maybe even if the, child is quite bold enough, he will always think, no, mama says I'm shy. So I am shy, whether I should try this or I should not try this. Mm-hmm. So this kind of, we say my child is very delicate. Even if, child wants to try some physical activities, child will be scared to try it because we continuously speak about the child that he's delicate enough. So this is the long-term impact which child is going to have in case of even self-esteem. He may have a low self-esteem. He may have, that boldness will not be there, that trying something new will not be there. And these traits go on into the child till he, goes into the adulthood. Even after adulthood, unless you make a conscious effort to come out of your conditioning, that is not, it does not create an impact, and you end up continuing the same type of behavior in future. Even the reaction point of thing, which I told you, the child also reacts to the situation quite oftenly. Instead of responding, a quiet response, instead of that, child goes into the reaction mode. So this power of words has a very long-term impact on the child's complete mental and emotional behavior part. The kind of self-talk which child gives to him whenever he is growing up, maybe negative self-talk. I cannot do this, I cannot do that. Oh, whether I can wake up in the morning, or whether I can complete this much of homework. Oh, I'm this, I'm that, because it is of the continuous communication which is, falling on his ears. So that is how it is going to have a long-term impact.
And what age we can, shift to no to yes parenting?
Okay, so honestly, if you say there is no age criteria as such, earlier the better. Even you can start right from the day you have conceived, okay? But yes, it is never late than doing it not at all. So I would always suggest that the time you are listening to this podcast, one should start this conscious effort, I guess, because it is really important as a mother that conscious effort has to be inculcated as your behavioral pattern, and it takes a lot of time to be really honest about it. First you need to frame the sentence in your mind and then speak about it. So always it is, I would just give a mantra, is always take a pause whenever possible. Always take a pause before you speak, reframe your sentence and then speak, even if it is slower enough. Initially it will be slow enough, but slowly you will definitely make it a point that you are communicating right words to the child.
Wow, nice. But don't you think so? Like when the kids are very small, I think in the day 10 times we said no, 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 no. So that way, I'm talking about very small kids. So the no word is like some making some discipline, like have some discipline on the kids. So
Okay.
how we can change that, like that? Like for example, like for me, if I'm saying my kid that please don't do this is not right, so again the no words comes, right? So here I think you, yeah,
Yes, please.
so here I think you're saying that instead of saying like that, you have to just uh, change your word a bit and talk in a very positive way, like
Right. So you
let's do
have to
something
actually
else.
speak what you want to communicate. When you say to your child, don't do this, then actually what you want him to do. Have you decided what you want actually at that point in time, what you want him to do? So let's communicate that way. Suppose your child is scribbling and you don't want him to scribble on wall, suppose. Okay, he's scribbling on a wall. And that is the time you really want to stop him. So what you can do? Hey, wow, you're scribbling, but can we just do it on this paper? Come on, see, it is so nice. So that is the way I divert that child from scribbling on a wall to this. I know that is momentum, right? On that point in time, you really want to stop a child. So just be, excited enough, just loud enough, and say, have a second option ready with you immediately. So that child knows, okay, not this wall, come on, do it on this.
Right.
That's way.
Got it. All right. How important is it to understand a situation and choose the right words?
Okay, so it is really important because when I say there are so many, like just now we saw the situation of scribbling on a wall. But during the day and throughout the day, we want our children to do many things on time, right from getting up till bedtime, meal time, screen time, homework time, online schooling. We want our children to adhere to this particular situation in a way that it is quite it is quite easy for both of us. Instead of having that hassle right from the day, we want our children to actually go to classes on time, just brush their teeth on time, have meal time on time. So it is really important that I communicate right from the start of the day. Come on, let's brush our teeth. Come on, let's have our meal. Come on, it's your time for the online classes. Only 5 minutes are left. So what I do is I'm communicating what he's supposed to do the next moment so that his mind is prepared for that. It really matters how we are preparing the mind of the child and we are not giving surprises to the child, because they also don't like surprises. They get disturbed into their play, because full day they are into the play mode. So instead of breaking the play mode, encroaching into their play activity, what we can do is we can just inform them in advance what they're supposed to do so that they're aware about it.
Correct. So that the way we can encourage also. So that's the power of word. So we can encourage them with the power of word.
Right. Giving suggestions, giving choices. That is how we can encourage a child. If you want a child to do drawing at a particular time, instead of he's just watching a TV. So can you say, can we switch on the TV and go for drawing activity? He may say, not now. Okay, after 5 minutes, he may think, okay, mama, after 5 minutes. So I'm giving a choice to him so that after 5 minutes, wholeheartedly, he's doing a particular activity which he actually wants to do. Instead of forcing it, commanding it, we just give suggestions and the choices to the child. That is how we can encourage a child to do so.
Yeah. From the same time, you're giving space. And also with the power of words, you can make them understand that what is the right for them.
Absolutely right. Absolutely. True.
Great. Okay. How can words of parents impact the mental well-being of children?
Yes, as I already answered this question, the way you are having a self-talk about a child, that can have a long-term impact on his behavior, on his mental state, because we end up saying many things in front of a child, even about the surrounding. Right now, the surrounding is quite stressful, right? Due to pandemic. Now, if in case we are continuously discussing about the pandemic at home in front of children, they are going to get stressful about it. But the way I treat this pandemic, oh, we cannot go out to play, let's play something in house. This is the way I'm treating the situation, even if it is quite stressful outside. I'm not continuously communicating that in front of my child. So even our negative talks in front of child, continuously talking negative about situation, about a person, about teachers, about some classes, about some activity, is going to have some impact on their mental well-being, because that is what they're going to perceive about that particular thing. So it is really important that we are conscious enough when we are speaking in front of children.
Yes, true. Like in this pandemic, we are talking at home all the positive words. That what are the positive things which we have? We can do it. So this positivity comes into the child's mind, and maybe they can also talk the same way to their friends when they are meeting in phone calls or video calls. So that's a great way. I think really it's words can help in the mental well-being too. Yes,
absolutely.
So how do words develop a child personality?
Okay, so this plays such a vital role. I would just give you an example of my son. I was speaking to a client the other day on a call, and I was telling a client, I really don't have time to complete this assignment. I'm sorry. So when I kept a call, my child came up to me and said, Mama, why did you say I don't have time? You could have said that I will try to manage my time in such a way that I may deliver your assignment, or I may deliver it at a later stage. So that is the kind, if there is a continuous environment of a conscious thinking at home, the use of right words at home, your child will also, deliver same kind of speech, same kind of words, same kind of attitude when he is growing up, when he's grown up rather. He looks into the possibilities of particular situation. He starts exploring the situation instead of, having that deadlock over there. Child goes into the exploration mode, and that is how his personality gets developed. His risk taking capability increases. He ends up trying multiple things multiple way. So that is how this right words, right our reaction to the situation, response to the situation, this is how it adds up to the personality. The child becomes more calm. He tries to understand what the situation is, what the person is trying to say. So it has a very beautiful impact on the personality growth of a child.
I totally agree with you. I know that a good thing kids can learn only from home. The first place is home. And it's very important points for parenting.
Right.
All right. So Namrata, it's really, really amazing pointers that you spoke, and tell us about the word, how words are important in parenting and in parenting lifestyle and for the kids. So thank you so much. Hope you all are like our series. This is our first series, and stay tuned for more. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sulata. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity.